All right. Go ahead and get ready started with that. That off. Okay, put that down. Got it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We got some people on here. Give me a second. Let me get over here to my other page. Get my YouTube channel up and going. Give me a moment waiting on my YouTube channel to put up. Really taking this time. What's going on with YouTube? It's taking this time pulling up. Let me try it again. Okay, there it is by time. Sure did take its time pulling up. All right, everybody, let's get started. The YouTube channel is taking this time doing whatever it's doing. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but it is taking its own sweet time. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Here we go. All right, just gonna get started. Y'all give me a second. All right, and can everybody hear me? All right. Good evening, everybody. This is Calvin Butler with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and the National Dispatchers Network. And tonight is Thursday night, and it is time now at 7:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's time for How to Dispatch Training. I want to welcome you all tonight for dispatch training. We are on series number 4, which is dispatch agreement and carrier profile forms. Last week we did the pitch. So now what comes after the pitch is you got them to agree to say, okay, go ahead and shoot me over your dispatch agreement. Now you got to send them the dispatch agreement and the carrier profile form. So we're going to go over those 2 forms tonight. And before I get started, I want to let everybody know that, of course, we are sponsored by the National Dispatchers Network and the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. And we're also being sponsored by RBBS LLC Corporate Consulting, which is our new consulting firm, and where we only represent freight brokerage firms and managing them for 2 to 10 years. We have 2 contracts, one for 2 years and one for 10 years. And what we do with these freight brokerage firms, we come in, we restructure their operations, we implement our progressive compensation package, which is a performance-based residual compensation, and we introduce that to them. We are in charge of recruiting, hiring, and training their salespeople for their brokerage firm, and we come in with the goal of getting them to $2.5 to $5 million their first year in revenue. By year 5 and 6, our goal is to have them at $20 to $40 million in yearly revenue, and by year 10, our exit year, we goal is to have them at $500 million to $1 billion a year in yearly revenue. And we do this through our own proprietary strategies that we put together. It's about 12 different strategies that we put together that makes this happen. And that is part of our intellectual property and our proprietary strategy. So with that being said, in order for us to sit down with any brokerage firm to consider representing them, we have to have an NDNC signed and in place. That is a non-disclosure and a non-compete agreement. The brokerage firm also must have all the credentials already in place. If you do not have your bond, you don't have your insurance, you don't have your authority, you don't have your SAT code, you don't have all your credentials, we would not even entertain sitting down with you to discuss anything. We won't be sitting over any NDNCs. You have to have all that stuff in place before we will actually sit down with you and go into an actual confidential meeting with you and show you exactly how we can get you to these projections in over 10 years. So before we can do that, make sure if you're contacting us to represent your brokerage firm, make sure you have your stuff in order before we can even sit down with you. We currently have 2 brokerage firms under contract, with the third one's coming very soon. I just got a call from another young lady who's got her own brokerage firm. She's got all her credentials. So she should be sending some stuff over to us probably tonight or tomorrow night, so we can go ahead and schedule her meeting. So I can get with my partner, Darren or Damian Stevens, however y'all want to call him, get with him, and our senior consultant, which is Jan Williams, and one of our junior consultants who just came on board, Miss Angela Rozier. So we will probably be signing up that brokerage firm, and that would be Miss Rozier's client for her to manage that particular brokerage firm. But anyway, that's what we have going on. Also, I'm going to start a new series of training videos. They're going to be short segments between 5 and 8 to 9 minutes long. It won't be more than 10 minutes long. They'll just be little short training video segments on the brokerage side of the business, where we'll be doing sales tips training on how to, stuff like how to get shippers signed up, how to find shippers, how to formulate your pitch to shippers, how to close more shippers, how to negotiate margins with shippers, these types of things. So they'll be short, 5-minute to 8-minute long video segments. I'm going to start those probably starting as early as tomorrow. So you all will start seeing those up, that we're doing those little short segments, and those are going to be segments for the RBBS LLC corporate consulting. And that is primarily going to revolve around freight brokering and some little short, because as you all know, we no longer do freight broker training. We only do freight broker management through our consulting firm. So we're going to have a whole series of short take videos on freight broker sales training tips. So look for those. They should be very popular. It's a very popular subject. That's one of the biggest questions we get all the time is, basically, how do I find shippers? Where do I find shippers? How do I close shippers? What do I say to shippers? How do I formulate my pitch with shippers? How do I close more shippers? Stuff like that. So that's what those sales tip videos are going to be addressing, those little various questions there. And those will be coming out here probably within the next couple of days. You all should probably start seeing some of that stuff coming up on our channel tomorrow, as early as tomorrow. All right, let's get started. All right, and today is how to dispatch training, and it is the dispatch agreement. That's what we're going over today. So let's check in with our YouTube people. Let me start sharing my screen real quick. All right, what do we got over here on YouTube today? Who do we got on YouTube tonight? So far, what we have on YouTube, we have Robinson LeBron. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. We have Janie, Janie Chambers. Thank you for joining us. Good evening to you. LeBron Robinson says, yes, we have Alicia Oh So Fly. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. So that's what we have tonight so far on our on our live Zoom tonight. It's not showing me. Oh yeah, we got 6 people watching so far tonight. So there we are. We have 6 people watching so far. So welcome. Thank you all for joining us live here tonight. Let's get right into the dispatch training. All right, we're gonna go over here to our back office tools and resources. You all know what that is. Over here to our back office tools and resources, and we're gonna go ahead and find the dispatch agreement, and we're gonna go over that because that's what we're going over tonight. The dispatch agreement. Tonight is the dispatch agreement. So let's go ahead and find that in our Rolodex. Let's find the dispatch agreement. That's the broker contract. We don't need that. Give me a second. We'll find it here in our Rolodex. Everybody, please mute your mics when you come in. If you're just coming in, please mute your mics. There it is, dispatch agreement right here. All right. So you have contacted the broker. You've given the pitch. You know how much money you need to move your truck. You got them to agree. So okay, yeah, I like what you're saying. Go ahead and shoot me over that dispatch agreement. Let's get this thing signed. Let's get off to a good start. So that's what we're going over right now. Is the dispatch agreement. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this up. Open this up. As soon as it opens up here, waiting for it to open up. Here we go. Open this dispatch agreement up. We're going to go over this dispatch agreement, and we're going to go over the carrier profile for tonight. So that's what our training is on tonight. So now, one thing I want you all to really pay attention to in this dispatch agreement, notice that it's not a very long, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12-page dispatch agreement. You have some of these companies that will have these dispatch agreements. I'm still waiting for this thing to pull up. Some of these companies will have these dispatch agreements, and they are extremely long, drawn out dispatch agreements. There it is right there. They're extremely long, drawn out dispatch agreements. Okay, this particular one is very short, but it hits all the legal requirements of a properly formatted dispatch agreement. You don't want a very long dispatch agreement because, first of all, you had to go through a whole pitch just to get these people, these truck drivers, to agree to go into an agreement with you. Okay, what do you think is going to happen after you've gone through several objections that they've had? You got through those objections, and you got them to agree to sign up with you. What do you think is going to happen when you send them a 3, 4, 5, 6-page dispatch agreement? Okay, I mean, come on, really? They're gonna look at that like, hey, that's one of the reasons that you all hardly get any dispatch agreement back. When you're sending out your dispatch agreements, if you're sending out a 5-page long dispatch agreement, chances are you're not gonna get anything back. Okay, because that's just too much. That's too much. And then when you have stuff in there, when you have attached with it stuff like a power of attorney and stuff like that, that's frightening to a lot of truck drivers. I mean, come on, these are truck drivers. They're gonna look at this and say, a power of attorney? No, I'm not signing that. So don't shoot yourself in the foot after you've done all that work in convincing them, making all those phone calls, finally getting a truck driver or owner operator that you can talk to, and one who has agreed to see the dispatch agreement. It would be a shame to drop the ball at the 5-yard line. You're getting ready to cross over into the touchdown. There's nobody else around you, and then you drop the ball because you sent them a 4 or 5-page long dispatch agreement and an attachment with a power of attorney. That scary phrase right there, power of attorney. You sit that over to them, and now you can't. You don't understand why you calling. They're not picking up the phone. They're not sending you anything. And like you just been ghost. But that's why you've been ghost. Okay. Your dispatch agreement should be concise, to the point, hits all the legal points that it needs to hit. Your implied power of attorney. You do not have to have a drawn out written format of a power of attorney. You can have what's called an implied power of attorney. You'll also make sure it hits your held harmless clause. Those are the two most important things in the dispatch agreement that you need to have legally covered, but you don't have to have it all drawn out of the long statement, and all that type of stuff. It can be an implied power of attorney, and it can be a very short, mention of the held harmless clause. Okay, the rest of it just needs to be formatted in a proper legal document manner. Now, this dispatch agreement is formatted as such. It is a 1-page dispatch agreement. As you can see here, this is it. It's not intimidating. It's not intimidating. It's very short. I mean, look at this. From there to there is basically the bulk of the dispatch agreement. Everything. This down here is just signatures. So the dispatch agreement really doesn't even take up but about half of a piece of paper. Okay, just a half of a page. It's not very long to read, right? So it's convenient. It's short. It's to the point. It's written in a legal format. It hits all the legal points, and it's not going to frighten anybody away. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. You don't want to frighten people away. You went through all that work just to get them to sign up. So let's go with this dispatch agreement. Now, this is an editable copy. You can click here where it says enable the editing. You click that, it's going to change it to a different format here where you can actually do some editing to it. So if you pull this up, you'll be able to change that to the editable copy. So up here, you can put in, your name, the name of your company, whatever. That's where your information will go up there. Address, email, and your phone number, and all that type of stuff. Now you notice here I've got some stuff that's highlighted. Okay. Now, if you notice, everything that is above the fee line, and here's your fee line right here, which is the fee for dispatch services will be. That's your fee line. Everything above the fee line that is in yellow, okay, that is where your information goes. Okay. If it's in yellow, up here above the fee line, that's where your name or your company name is going to go. Everything that's above the fee line, that's in yellow. Everything that's below the fee line, that's in yellow, is what the carrier is going to put in that space right there. It's going to be the carrier's information, like down here where it says ask for the phone number, text number, and all of that stuff. That's where the carrier information is going to put that. That's highlighted for them to put their information down there. But everything up here that's highlighted, that's where you're going to go ahead and plug that stuff in before you send it over to your carrier. Just get it, alter it, do the editing, put all your information up here at the top. You can also upload your logo onto it if you want to. Very simple, very easy to do. If you want to upload your logo, all you do is just click down one more, click up on one more, go up here where it says insert. Okay, insert. You're gonna go to pictures. You're gonna go to from your device if you've already got them stored on your device. Very simple to do. You're gonna click on it. You're gonna pull it up, and you're gonna go over here to some of your pictures. If you have like some pictures already quickly saved, I'm just gonna put this one here real quick, and then I'm gonna take it out. You can decrease the size of it because that's way too big. Take it down about like that right there. Then you can go over here to where it says home, and then you go over here and you can move it to the middle of the page by going over here in your center button there. Bam, there it is right there in the center. And you got your logo up there on your dispatch group. Okay, you print it up, and there it is. You have your logo. It's up there, nice, looks good, looks professional. It's all put together, and you can kind of change the size of it if you want to. You can make it a little bit longer to stretch it out where it kind of covers more evenly spaced, or however you want to do it. Or if you want to make it very small, if you just want to have a small logo, you can come up here and do something very small like that right there. And you can take it and move it back over to one side or the other. Because when you're doing small like that, you really don't want them centered. If you're doing a small, you want to have it, over something like, do like that right there. Then you want to take it over here, put it over there. And then you can probably take your, and move it back up. And there you have it. So now it's a little bit more, if you want to do it like that, you can do your dispatch like that. If you just came in, please mute your mic. Everybody that just coming in, please mute your mics. Thank you. So you can go over there and you can take that, and then you can kind of do your dispatch agreement where you got your little logo up there and everything, and make it look nice and professional. Now, let's go ahead and get into this dispatch group. As I said before, you got to put your information right here, right underneath your logo. If you want to change it and put your logo on it, that type of stuff. Your information is going to go here, your name or your company name, your address right there, your phone number right there, and your email address right here. All right. Dispatch services agreement. Where the carrier information goes. The owner of and or the driver of truck number, put the truck number right there, of the carrier, a licensed motor carrier, MC number, the MC number is going to go right there, and or DOT number is going to go here. Hereby grants authorization to, if this is in yellow, it is above the fee line, that's where your name or your company name goes there. Okay, the dispatch information goes there. To act as my agent for the sole purpose of searching for and booking shipments, processing all brokerage paperwork, and obtaining certificates of insurance as required and dispatched via telephone. Fax right there. License plate number is going to go there. In the state that they are operating out of, it's going to go there. Or where their license is going to go there. All billing, invoicing, and collections of revenue from customers, brokers, shippers, consignees, etc., are the sole responsibility of the carrier. If revenue for a shipment or shipments is uncollectible, your information goes there because it's above the fee line, it's in yellow, will be held harmless and no penalty or deduction of fees will be made. The carrier agrees to maintain all proper licenses and permits to conduct business as a motor carrier in the area of intended operations. Additionally, carrier also agrees to maintain liability and cargo insurance at the amount set forth by the home state of the carrier. Your information and the name goes there, or your dispatch firm name goes here. Will be held harmless. Look, that's the second held harmless clause. But you hit that point of held harmless clause already. Up here, you have an implied power of attorney where it says that what? All gives you, it says that you to act as my agent for a sole purpose of. That phrase right there is an implied power of attorney. That's why you don't need a whole nother form that says right at the top that's going to scare the hell out of your carrier, power of attorney. Okay, this dispatch agreement has both implied power of attorney and it has two held harmless clauses written into the dispatch agreement. That's all you need for it to be legal. That's all you need for it to cover those areas of authorization. Okay, so you don't need another whole sheet of paper or 3 or 4 sheets of paper, explaining what a power of attorney is. Okay, you don't need that. All right. The second held harmless clause will be held harmless in the event of any and all claims. The carrier agrees to maintain an account with an internet load board service in the name of the carrier with your information or your name goes here as the point of contact for dispatching purposes. This is another implied power of attorney, which gives you authorization to manage their load board that they have to pay for. Okay, to be honest with you, yes, the carrier is responsible for the load board, but when you are doing our platform, you already get access to more than 100 load boards that you don't have to pay for. But let's say you decide to leave our platform for whatever reason. I don't know why people do it, but sometimes they do. If you decide to leave our platform for whatever reason, and you're still operating your dispatch firm, it's written into your dispatch agreement to have the carrier to actually pay for your load. Okay, and you have that implied power of attorney right there, which gives you access to it and gives you authority to manage that load board for that, to find that carrier suitable for freight. Okay, so now the question raises. Now that brings up a question. Can you use that same load board to find your other carriers that you have on the dispatch agreement? Can you find them loads from that same load board? Yes, you can. Okay. Look, especially if let's say you want a DAT load board, and we all know DAT is very expensive. Okay, and you can use this dispatch agreement to explain why you can get your carriers a big break on the DAT load, whatever the case may be. Instead of having each one of them pay for a DAT load board, having you to pay for the DAT load board, just have a conference call with your carriers and let them know that, look, I manage all, I'm the dispatch for all 5, whatever, all 6 of you, whatever the case may be. Instead of you all getting a DAT load board and paying $100 and some odd dollars for it, why don't we get one DAT load board? You all send me what it costs to do it. I always get that DAT load board in one of you all's DOT number, under one of you all DOT number, and you all will send, a small amount each month, evenly divided between the 5 of you. That's how you can get them coverage under that load board without them having to pay $100 and some odd dollars a month. You save them money, you accomplish the same thing, and now you have that load board, a nice premium load board for all your carriers. Okay, so you have that's written into this dispatch agreement that can help you out with. All right.
Hey, Calvin, let me
Internet load board service in the name of the carrier with yeah.
No, I was about to say that now that allows dispatchers to have their own account as well.
Oh, see, there you go. See, even that starting to recognize dispatchers now. So even with that, you can have it in your name to have them pay for. Simple as that. All right.
Right.
Good point there. Good bringing that up. So, yeah. Look, dispatching has gone from that little backward name in the back of the room. Now dispatching is up front. It's up front. Everybody recognizes that dispatch is a legal part of the freight, gathering, the legal part of the freight industry. No, for a while, everybody was saying dispatching is illegal. They're not legal. They operate illegal. But dispatching has always been legal. It has always been legal. Okay, the statute says so. But now you get more of these mainstream companies. You even have factory companies now that factor for dispatchers. Right there. So
Yeah.
so it doesn't get any more legitimate than having the money side, processing, your pay as dispatchers now. So dispatching has become a very prominent part of the freight industry, and is a very prominent asset for both brokers and owner operators. Okay, and also in a roundabout way for shippers. Okay, even though dispatchers don't really work directly with shippers on a common basis, sometimes they do. It depends on the shipper, but not very many shippers are going to work directly with the dispatcher. Most shippers want you to have that bond and stuff to work with them because they want you to be able to cover their freight on your insurance to help insulate them from any damages or liability. I know the carrier has insurance, but most shippers want to deal with the broker because that further insulates them from liability. Okay, so there you have it. All right, continue on. Now we get into the fee part of the agreement. The fee for dispatch services will be, I recommend that you all charge 10%. You all can change that to charge whatever you want. But listen to what I gotta tell you. If you're gonna scale your business, because the whole purpose of starting a business is to go big, is to expand, grow, make more money, increase the size of your business, right? That's the whole purpose of starting a business. If you weren't gonna start a business, you could have just stayed working at McDonald's or Walmart or wherever you were working at, right? Don't start a business that way. I just want to keep it just me. No, you want to expand your business. So when you get into this dispatching thing, you get your first 5 carriers signed up, right? And then you've been dispatching them for 2 to 3 weeks. Then you're going to go out and you want to hire you a dispatch agent. Now, if you hire yourself a dispatch agent, if you're only charging 5% on your dispatch agreement, what are you going to pay your agent? You're going to pay them 2.5%. You keep 2.5%? I don't think so. Anybody going to work for you for 2.5%? Come on. Not on the dispatch side, because there's not enough money with just 5 trucks for to make it worth their while. So put your dispatch agreement, your dispatch fee at a level that will accommodate your growth, that will support your scalability. Okay? Because remember, you're a business owner, so start thinking like a business owner. That's why I recommend a minimum of 10%. Why? Because the 10%, when you get ready to get yourself a dispatch agent, you give them those 5 carriers that you can dispatch for 3-4 weeks or whatever, how long you've been dispatching for. You could give those 5 to your dispatch agent, and in your job posting, when you're looking for a dispatch agent, you have something to offer them. Come work for my dispatch firm. Work for my dispatch firm. I will start you off with 5 carriers that I have already been dispatching for about 3 or 4 weeks. These carriers are generating a revenue in the neighborhood of $3,000, $3,400, $3,500 per week. So I'm going to start you off with your own 5 carriers, and you're going to receive 6% of my dispatch fee, which is what? 10%. So you get 6%, which means you're getting 60% of my dispatch fee, or 6% of the load fee, right? They get 6%, you get 4%. That's an equitable split. That's an equitable split. And then you go back out and do what you're good at. Get yourself 5 more carriers. Dispatch them for about 3-4 weeks. Then you hire yourself another dispatch agent. Same thing. Now you have 10 carriers under your firm and 2 dispatchers working in your dispatch firm. Go back out, get yourself 5 more. Same thing. Now you got 15 carriers. You dispatch 4 and 3 employees, and so on and so on and so on. At that rate, if you're doing that every 3 to 4 weeks, by the time you get to the end of the year, you got yourself about, 50, 60 carriers maybe 70, 75 carriers. You know, you got yourself about what? What's that come out to be? About 9, 10, maybe 12 dispatchers working in your firm. Your dispatchers are all making somewhere in the neighborhood of what? Around $120,000, right? $100,000, $120,000, whatever the case may be, and you're bringing in about 76, anywhere from $60,000 to $76,000 per dispatcher on your end. Come on, that's a successful business. That's called scalability. Okay, if y'all have ever heard that term, that's a perfect example of scalability. Okay, it's not that hard. You just follow the steps and just scale your business. But in order for you to scale your business, you got to have room to be scalable. So if you're putting but those of you out there who are charging on the 5%, then you can't afford to hire a dispatch agent. That's why those companies like that stay small. They stay small because they can't afford to grow. They can't afford to scale. What are they gonna do? Hire a dispatcher, they call the carrier back to, hey, you charging more now? That's not gonna go well. That's not gonna go over too well with your client. So start out that way so your clients become accustomed to that fee right there. You don't have to change it when you start scaling your business. You just work it in and you can accommodate that growth now. Okay? So be sure to leave yourself room in your dispatch agreement or set your dispatch agreement to where you can actually, afford to scale your business and create growth for your business. Okay? Now, anyway, let's go back here and say this fee, the fee for dispatch services will be 10% of the gross revenue of each shipment with no minimum charge. As loads are picked up, an amount equal to the above stated percentage will be payable to, now this is below the fee line, it's not in yellow, so that's where your name or your dispatch firm name goes there. Payments are to be conveniently paid with any debit or credit card via text or email, invoice, app, processed by whatever processor you got. We no longer process it. Don't put RBBS LLC invoice. If you use QuickBooks, put QuickBooks. If you use Quickens, put Quickens. If you use Square, put Square. If you use PayPal, put PayPal. If you use what's the other, Zeal or some of the other ones that they got out there, whatever you use that. If you use what's the real popular there, the one that's been around for 25 years? I can't think of it right now. But anyway, if you use any of those, put that, however you whatever software you're using to process your invoice. Okay. All right. Please provide your SMS, cell phone, text number. There's no misunderstanding what they're asking for. You put SMS, cell phone, text number. They all be the same thing. I want your cell phone number. I want to be able to text you. So there's no mistaking what that's for. If they put down anything other than a cell phone number, they got to be trying to be funny. So make sure they put the cell phone number down there. It's written out about 4 times there that suggests that this has to be your cell phone. Okay. Please provide your SMS, cell phone, text number here. It's in yellow, it's below the fee line, so that means the carrier's information goes there. That carrier's phone number or the cell phone number goes there. Okay. And email here. Their email goes there. Either party has the right to end this agreement without cause at any time with 7 days written, with 7 days notice by written request. Upon cancellation, any unused funds remaining in the deposit account will be refunded to the carrier within 2 business days without penalty. Now, that clause is there for in case you got just some carriers who are doing some dedicated runs or some carriers that are paying you at the end of the week. It's primarily if you got dedicated runs. Because if you got dedicated runs, your carriers are paying you the same thing every week. They're not going to pay you every time they pick up a load and drop a load. They're going to pay you at the end of the week because they're running the same loads every week. They're making the same amount of money every week. So if you got carriers on that type of system, which I have a lot of carriers on that type of system, they're paying you, by the week. Some of them will actually go ahead and pay you a week in advance because they know they're going to be running loads that week. So they just go ahead and get it out of the way and pay you ahead of time. Now, if you got carriers that are paying you ahead of time, so they're on a regular schedule like that, if you got to pay you ahead of time, then that clause is what's going to apply to them. If for some reason either one of you decides to cancel this dispatch agreement, that means they've already paid you ahead of time. So therefore, you're going to refund them back that money because you never really dispatched them on any load. They didn't run those loads yet. Okay, under your dispatch agreement. Okay, all right. By signing below, I fully understand the terms of this agreement. Put the company name there, signature goes there, the date goes there, you print the name right there. Down here, you dispatch, you put your information goes there, there's a date right there, and you put the signature right there. And that's your dispatch agreement. Okay, that's a dispatch agreement. You notice it's not very long. It's about a half page long, really. The book, I mean, literally, the content of the dispatch agreement is only about a half page long. You know, it's not a 5, 6, 7, 8, 12-page dispatch agreement. There's not that big scary term up there that says power of attorney. You know, that phrase is not there, but it covers all the legal points. Any questions on the dispatch agreement? Anybody? Let me check with my YouTube people. Let's get on here and check with our YouTube people. Give me a second, you all. Yeah, here we go. Let me pull up my YouTube people. Check with them, see if they got any questions on that dispatch agreement. All right, let's see what's being said over here on YouTube. What's being said over here on YouTube, y'all? Okay, on YouTube, hey, Mr. Calvin, other than the authority, what else does a carrier need to send you? What does a carrier need to send you other than their authority? Are we talking about the dispatch agreement? No, but is there a different contract for intermodal since the carriers to the port? No, you're a dispatch. Remember, you're not a brokerage firm. You're a dispatch firm. Okay, you are a dispatch firm. There's not much more you need except make sure that the carrier has a tweet card and all that stuff that the carrier has to have. The carrier knows that they have to have that type of stuff to get onto the ports and all that type of stuff. But there's not much anything other than you need for your dispatch agreement. That dispatch agreement is pretty much applicable across the board for, you know, just by any carrier that you are signing up with. Darren uses pretty much that same dispatch agreement for his auto haul, right, Darren?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, it's pretty standard dispatch agreement. W-9, okay. You're not doing, the carrier is the one paying you. You're not paying the carrier. As a dispatcher, you are not paying the carrier. The carrier is paying you. So that W-9 is coming from, really, the carrier has to send that to you to fill out, not you to the carrier. So that carrier, if they pay you more than $600 in that year, they're gonna have to have a W-9 in place, and they're gonna have to send you a 1099 form to fill out, because, you know, that's what they got to do. They got to, either got to have you listed with them on 1099 or a W-2. If you're W-2, that means you're working for the carrier. You're actually working for that company. But in 99.9% of all these cases, they're going to send you a 1099. That's on them, not on you. Those W-9s and 1099s are if you are paying someone. If you're paying someone more than $600 per year, you have to send them a W-9 to fill out. The carrier is the carrier's responsibility to send you that W-9, not the other way around. Because they're paying you, you're not paying them. Okay, same thing with the NOA and all the other stuff. That's on them to produce, not for you to produce, because you're not the person who's paying them, they are paying you. Okay, let's understand that. All right. Yeah, carrier profile is what we're about to go over next. That's what tonight is. Tonight is carrier, is dispatch agreement and carrier profile. As I mentioned at the beginning. Those of you who are trying to come late, you probably didn't catch that. But tonight we're going over dispatch agreement and carrier profile. Okay. Everybody here working already. Y'all have to, you know, some people are new. Some people are working already. Darren, some other people like Alicia and some other people on here, you know, they have their trucks that they're dispatching for and stuff like that. So it's just a combination of people who've been with my dispatch, who've been with our training platform for a long time. Some people have been here a short time. Some people who've been here a short time already have carriers. Miss Tasha Washington, who's not here tonight, she came on, and within the first week, she signed up about 6 carriers. You know, so, you know, it just depends. on how quickly you want to work, on how quickly you grasp information, on how quickly you become comfortable with our training platform and what we are providing for you, and how quickly you want to use everything that's in your back office. Okay. All right. Let's go on to our next thing, which is the profile form. Let me go back over here. Give me a second, everybody. Let me stop my share real quick again, so I can get you all back in over here. We can see what's going on. All right. We have new people come in. Scott Benning is in. James Sears is here. Damien is here, and we have Kay. Who's Kay? I don't recognize Kay. Who's Kay? Tonight is that? I'm not sure who that is, but nice for you to join us tonight. All right. Somebody posed a question in here. Is the Facebook chat group still up? No, we don't have a Facebook chat group. We have Clubhouse now. We have a Facebook group that has close to 3,000 members in it. Our Facebook group has close to 3,000 members in it. Now we have Clubhouse for our members. Clubhouse is a gathering social media platform where you go on and everybody can, like, you can start your own Clubhouse meeting through our private group on Facebook. On Clubhouse, which is the National Dispatcher Network. You can look for it on Clubhouse. It's called the National Dispatcher Network on Clubhouse. And members, it's for members only. And when I say members only, it's basically for people who are part of our network. So everybody on our Clubhouse on network, they can start a chat group, and it's actually where people actually talk to you. You actually hear people talk to each other right there on your phone app. So people gather there and have conversations and things like that. Matter of fact, we went on there today. Myself, Jen Williams, Anna Rosa, and a couple other people. We was having a little meeting on Clubhouse today, talking about our consulting firm. So that's what we do. We switched the Facebook chat group over to Clubhouse. Facebook changed some of the rules on operating within the chat groups. You can all have so many people in the chat group. After that, you got to start a new chat group. And I didn't want to have 15, 20 different chat groups on a social platform. I'd rather have just one, so we switched over to Clubhouse. That is the new chat group area, which is Clubhouse. Okay. All right. Let's get into our second part of our training tonight, which is the carrier profile form. We start sharing my screen again, and let's jump right into the carrier profile form. All right, going to go over here. We're going to pull up the carrier profile form. It's in your back office area. You're going to go through it, and here we go. Here, that is the dispatch agreement. Back to our Rolodex. Carrier profile form. There it is right there. Okay. That's your carrier profile form. I'm going to pull that, click it up. Pull up that carrier profile form. All right. Carrier profile form. Forward this form along with your dispatch agreement to the carrier to complete. Okay. What is a carrier profile form? The carrier profile form is basically a form that for the carrier to basically tell you how they like to run, how much money they want, where they like to go, how much weight they want to move. It is basically what is satisfying the statute part of the Federal Motors Carrier statute on how dispatchers are to operate. Those of you who don't know what that statute is, it is CFR 49.17371, which is the statute on freight brokers and bona fide agents. In case you all didn't know, dispatchers are classified under the Federal Motors Carrier Safety Administration as bona fide agents. That is the legal statute that describes how you can, what is legal for dispatchers to do, how you can operate legally. That statute kind of outlines everything. Part of the statute that this fulfills is where it says dispatchers must have a pre-existing agreement. That's the dispatch agreement. Dispatchers or bona fide agents must have a pre-existing agreement to find said carrier suitable freight, persuading to, this is what covers the carrier profile form, persuading to the carrier's specific criteria. This is that specific criteria part of the statute. This is what satisfies the specific criteria part of the statute, the carrier profile form. Okay? All right, so this is what the carrier profile form. The carrier profile form can be very simple form. You can again, you can put your logo up there if you want to. This is a PDF form, so you probably can't alter this. If you will save it as a Word file, then you can change it to put your, your logo stuff up there if you want to. Or if you just want to copy and paste this onto a Word file, you can make, okay, you can just copy and paste all this and then open up a Word file and then paste it in, and then you can alter it, any kind of way you want to. You can put, your profile picture up there, you put your logo up there, whatever you want. You can alter it in any kind of way you want to. But the carrier profile form is a very straightforward form. It's just a form that you send to the carrier to ask them to fill out to let them know how you want to run. So when you get up every morning and you're looking for freight, right? And you looking for freight for a certain carrier, you go to your profile form, you pull them up. Okay, here's the carrier's information. Here's John over there at BB Trucking. Their home address is here. Oh, he has a dry van. Okay. All right, he's put down here. He don't want to pull. He has a 53-foot trailer. His max weight he want to pull. He don't want to pull no more than 33,000 pounds. Anything over there, he don't want it. His minimum rate per mile, he wants $2.75 per mile. You really don't want to mess with anything under $2.75 per mile. His preferred distance is somewhere in the neighborhood of, he may put down here, I want short. Give me a bunch of short runs each day. Stuff that's, under 100 miles. Or I want runs that's ranging from 300 miles to no more than 450 miles. Not very many carriers run 600 miles a day. Now, you can run 600 miles a day. And of course, you can take loads that run longer. It's going to take you more than one day to run them, of course. But, you have carriers that will put, give me all long haul loads. Give me everything that's more than 1,100 miles. Don't send me nothing that's less than 1,100 miles, whatever the case may be. So this is what a carrier profile form is. So let's go through it real quick. Carrier profile. Please fill out the form as we discussed to better fill your custom needs. Note, the below parameters are just minimums. Our goal is to always exceed and get you the best loads possible. So the carrier puts their name right there, right? They put their company name right here. So put their address right here. Very simple stuff now. Put their equipment, what type of equipment they have. Van, flatbed, reefer, box truck, sprinter van, whatever they got, put that in. Just so y'all know, I do not recommend trying to dispatch for sprinter vans, box trucks, or hot shots. Okay. In my opinion, they're a waste of time. You're gonna spend too much time trying to find them freight. And this is, this whole thing right here, with dispatching, time is money. Okay. So just if you take my advice, you'll be a lot happier just dealing with those carriers that there's plenty of freight out there for. The load boards are not designed to support sprinter vans. The load boards are not designed to support box trucks. The load boards are not even really designed to support hot shots. So why would you waste your time contracting with those carriers, those types of trailers, and then having trouble finding them freight? And you spend all that time trying to find freight when you could have just been to find you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 loads for a dry van, flatbed, or a reefer, and made your money and just keep on moving. Okay, it's just too much time involved trying to find suitable freight for box trucks, sprinter vans, and hot shots. Okay, so that's my opinion. You can take it, not you don't worry about it. Throw it in the trash and say, Calvin, know what the hell he's talking about, and move on. All right. Equipment size, 48, 53 foot, or whatever custom size that they want to put there. Weight, that's the max weight that they want to pull. They're going to put it here. It don't matter to me. I pull it off. I don't want anything more than 48,000 pounds. I don't want anything more than 30,000 pounds. If I'm staying in the South or flatland, yes, I'll take heavy weight that weighs more than 45,000 pounds. If it's going up north in the mountains area, I don't want nothing weighing more than 29,000 pounds. You'll have that written down there sometime. But depending on which region they're going in, where they're going at, what the terrain is, they'll tell you if they want to go heavy or just go light. Minimum cost per mile, very important. Make sure that a carrier puts down there, make sure you ask them, what is your minimum cost per mile? What is your minimum rate per mile that you will accept? Not the total amount of money, because that is deceptive. If someone puts down there, I want no less than $2,300. Okay, that sounds good until you're going 3,300 miles, right? That's not even $1 a mile. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, I don't want $2,300. I want 4,500 bucks. You see what I'm saying? So have them to put the rate per mile, not the total rate, because total rate is going to be deceptive. That's not a true gauge of profitability. Rate per mile is a true gauge of profitability. So Have them to put the rate per mile. I don't want freight that's paying less than $2.25. I don't want freight that's paying less than $2. I don't want freight that's paying less than $3.75. I don't want rates paying that's less than blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that's very good. That's very good. That's why that is in bold there, because that's going to be the kind of the deciding factor of what type of loads you're looking for. Preferred distance that you want to run. As I mentioned before, some carriers just want to run short runs. I am a fan of short run loads. I came back here to Florida in a dry van when I got my own truck, and I ran strictly in Florida for 1 year, and I grossed $541,000 in that 1 year running strictly. I never left Florida, the state where people say you can't make no money. I made over $500,000 in a dry van here in Florida, and I never ran loads that took me more than 120 miles. Matter of fact, I made all that on one dedicated lane, on three lanes put together, made a dedicated route. So pick up in Tallahassee, Coca-Cola bottling plant, 4:30 in the morning, run 39 miles to Live Oak, which was $397. That's more than $10 per mile. When I got to Live Oak, unloaded there, the same receiver, loaded me up with a load of bottled water, ran it down to Alachua, 79 miles. That paid $890 $892, $893. Okay. All right. Again, more than $10 per mile. Right. Good money. Good money. Then I loaded up in after I dropped that there at that place, I ran about 1.5 miles down the road to the Coca-Cola distribution center. Okay, which had loads going back to the Coca-Cola bottling plant in Tallahassee, which was 104 miles. That paid me about $1,250. Okay, all together came out to be about close to $2,800 per day. And those run all three of those ran 5 days a week. I was back home before 6 p.m. every night and off every weekend, and gross over $541,000. Okay, so I am a big fan of short run loads. That's what I specialize in, dispatch. I find my carriers short run loads and I connect them together and create these short run dedicated lanes about anywhere from 3 to 4 loads per day. They're running the same loads 5 days a week, off every weekend, back in the same place every night, making great money, having a life, and just kind of doing their thing. Okay, that's my specialty. That's what I'm a big fan of. That's what I specialize in. Okay, the preferred distance, you're gonna put that right there. Region to run, keep me south, take me to the money, or however they want to put it. Some driver will tell you, I don't want to run up in the mountains. Don't send me up in the mountains. Keep me below the Mason-Dixon line. Only run me Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas, Arizona, California, Nevada. Other than that, don't send me up past that Mason-Dixon line. Keep me down below that Mason-Dixon line. Some carriers will tell you, I don't mind going over the mountain. Wherever the money is, that's where I go. Some carriers will tell you, I'll go over the mountain, but don't send me up there during the wintertime. I don't want to run on no hills and no ice, no snow, no slick weather, none of that stuff. All right, run me in the south in the wintertime, or run me in the south all year round, but in the wintertime, do not run me up. Okay? You have carriers that's going to tell you that. And then your other notes are going to be down here to put other notes and stuff they want to let you know about how they want to run or what type of truck they have, all that type of stuff. It's going to go down there in the other notes request. All right, that's it. That is a carrier profile form. It's as simple as that. There's nothing extravagant. You're going to store that, in your CNTMS or in your somewhere where you can pull it up so you can kind of look at it before you start dispatching your carriers and everyone. Now, once you get to know your carriers, you're going to know what they got and how they want to run and this and that. But until then, you're going to refer back to this carrier profile form to keep you on track and keep you from not sending them stuff that they don't really want. Okay. Let's see here. Questions on, let's go and check my YouTube people here and see what questions we have about this carrier profile form. Has anybody got any questions about the carrier profile form? Notice of assignment from their factory company, all that type of stuff. Again, you are not paying anybody. You're being paid. All right. If A carrier, if you are issuing them an invoice to pay you, now if you are paid, now if you are paying them, or if you have your own factory company, then you're gonna send them, your factory company information. That factory company pay you, whatever the case may be. But again, dispatchers do not pay carriers. Okay, dispatchers do not pay carriers. Okay, dispatchers don't have insurance. The certificate of insurance comes from the carrier to a broker. Okay, Darren, help me out here. I think somebody is confused between a broker and a carrier. Okay. Darren, how long have you been dispatching?
How long I've been dispatching?
Yeah.
Since I started 2019.
Okay, have you ever sent a carrier a certificate of insurance?
If I ever sent a carrier certificate of insurance?
Yeah.
No, the carrier sent me the certificate of insurance.
Exactly. Look, Mr. Saring and Neil, okay, I think you are confusing brokering with dispatch. Okay, dispatchers do not send out certificate of insurance. The carrier send you that. You don't send that to them. The reason the carrier sends you that in case the broker asks, because the broker is going to need the certificate of insurance from the carrier. You're not sending a certificate of insurance to your carrier. That's all stuff that the carrier is going to send you. Okay, every carrier that you are dispatching for is going to provide you with this stuff. Why? Because that's what the brokers are going to ask for. You are the intermediary between the carrier and the broker. Okay, you are looking for freight for your carrier, and most of the time, all of your freight is coming from a broker. If it's on the load board, it's coming from a broker, because shippers don't post stuff on load boards. Okay, shippers do not post stuff on load boards. All these documents that we are talking about are documents that you have to send to your carrier to order to engage them in business. Okay, so you don't send any certificates of insurance to any carriers. You don't send any notice of assignments to factory companies for the carriers. Okay, that's stuff that they send to you because they are always paying you. You are never, ever, 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 as a dispatcher going to pay a carrier. Okay, you're not going to do that. You're not going to send that to a carrier. Okay, so let's get that straight. That's now those questions are pertinent to brokers, which this is not broker training. This is dispatch training. Okay, so let's make sure we understand that. All right, but these are what you're going to need to operate as a dispatch firm. Now, through your operating as a dispatch firm, once you get your carrier signed up, some of the things you're going to ask the carrier for is, let me have all your stuff. Now, you don't really need all that. So then all you really need is what? DOT number, right? Because you pull up all the other stuff, right? All the other stuff is public. It's public information. Even the certificates of insurance, it's all public information. You can find it on Safer Web. You can go to Google, put a carrier's DOT number, and you'll be able to pull up their insurance certification. You'll be able to pull up all the stuff you need from them, to be honest with you. That's why with brokers, when you go to brokers and you get a load, you call the broker up and say, I got a carrier that wants load number, blah, blah, blah. What's the first thing the broker asks for, everybody? Not anybody. What's the first thing the broker asks for? Every time. They're going to ask for this first thing every time. What are they going to ask for? Anybody want to kind of share with me what the first thing broker asks for? Every single time, they're going to ask you for the DOT number. And the reason why they're asking that, the only reason really why they're asking that for that DOT number, the main reason they want to find out if that carrier is already onboarded with them and authorized to run loads from their broker's firm. The second reason, when they put that DOT number into the TMS system, it's going to tell them if that carrier is already authorized with them. It's going to tell them if that carrier has good insurance now. It's going to tell them if that carrier has been flagged. It's going to pull up everything that needs to know about that carrier, because all that stuff is public information. It really is. That's why they ask for the DOT number. That's all they really need. Because from that DOT number, they're gonna see that they've got property insurance. They're gonna see that they got this, and that. All that stuff is already there. Okay. And here's another thing. Most carriers don't really need factoring because the brokerage firm, every brokerage firm I know already has factoring. So why would a carrier factor a load that's already been factored? There's not a brokerage firm out there right now that has loads on any load book where those loads are not already factored. Every brokerage firm has a factoring company. Now, why does a carrier need their own factoring company if they're getting loads from the load board? They don't really. If a carrier is factoring a load that's coming from a load board, they're just giving away money. That load just got factored twice. It just got factored twice. Okay? Carriers don't really need factoring companies if they already have, if they're getting the loads from a load. Okay? They don't need factoring. Now, if a carrier has a relationship directly with the shipper, yeah, they need factoring. If a carrier has something worked out with a small shipper or a lumber company that they get loads from or something of that nature, yes, they need factoring. But every load on the load board is coming from a broker. There are no loads on load boards that are put there by shippers. Shippers don't post loads of load boards. Okay? The only people that you're going to see only loads on load boards are all there from brokers. And every broker already has factoring. Unless they're doing like them illegal brokers there, like we don't run across those guys from India that are running the scam right there.
They drive me crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But it's a good scam, though. It is a good scam. It is one of the best I've seen yet, man. And anytime they get caught, they just shut down, open back up on a different DOT number. but they done made about $250, probably $500,000 on each time they do it, and then they get caught, and then they shut down, open back up on another DOT number, a different name, different DOT number. But it is a pretty good scam, though. It is a pretty good scam. They picking up loads as if they're a carrier. Then once they get the load, then they post a load on the load board as if they're a broker, and then they get somebody else to run the load, and then they collect the money that they picked up for, but then they pay the other person the difference, and they keep that difference amount. That's a good scam. That's a good one. And ain't nothing you can do to them because they're out of the country. Even if you find out about it and you report them, there's nothing you can really do to them because, DOT is going to shut down that number. But guess what? They come right back the next week with a different DOT number because they got the money to do it. Because they're obviously doing about 250 G's to $500,000 each time they run their scam. And they're running it for weeks, a month, 2 or 3 months at a time. They finally get caught, but they done made all the money. They just jump back up and do it again. That's all they do. That's all they do. It's a good scam though, but it is a scam. And then it got a lot of people. But anyway, but really that's it for training for the night. Dispatch training for the night is we went over the dispatch agreement, went over the carrier profile. So that's really all we have for you all tonight as for dispatch training. Don't forget, we've got some stuff going on with RBBS that y'all gonna start seeing here shortly. I'm going to stop my share here real quick so I can everybody can focus on me. All right. What we're doing with RBBS, if y'all haven't noticed that we have a consulting firm now, RBBS LLC Corporate Consulting, okay, for freight brokerage startups, okay, for freight brokerage firm, for freight brokerage startups. Okay, we work with young freight brokerage firms because I just pulled up some statistics today, and I'm going to show y'all these statistics. Let me share my screen again. I want to show y'all some statistics, and I'm just sharing with y'all something here. Where's my screen share? There we go. Let's go to Google, and I'm going to show y'all some statistics here. Okay. Let's see what I'm looking for. I'm looking for turnover. Okay. New freight brokerage firm turnover rate. New freight brokerage firm turnover rates. Let's see if we can pull up some stats here. New freight brokerage firm turnover rates. Talking about profits. I'm trying to get the turnover rate. Before you start off, consider this. Nearly 95% new freight. All right, there's right here. Y'all see this right here? Now, back in 2016, when I started my freight brokerage firm, I looked up this stat, and it was at about 88.6% of new freight brokerage firms are out of business within the first 3 years. Now, I just happened to look it up again because what is pertinent to what we do now. We manage new freight brokerage firms. And the reason why we started managing new freight brokerage firms, because a lot of them don't know what the hell they're doing. A lot of them don't realize that it takes more than just getting your bond, your insurance, your SAC code, and spending all that money to be successful as a freight brokerage firm. A lot of them fail to realize that if you're not planning on going big, you might as well go home, because you're not going to survive as a freight brokerage firm in this industry staying small. There are no small freight brokerage firms in this industry. If you are a small freight brokerage firm, which means if you are doing less than $40 million a year in yearly revenue, by the time you hit year 5 or 6, you are a freight brokerage firm just waiting to go out of business. Plain and simple. And here's the reason why. As you all can see here, this gives us the updated turnover rate of freight brokerage firms. And they are going out of business left and right, simply because they fail to understand these things, okay? With such a small barrier to entry, new brokerage firms pop up daily, okay? Yeah, you all see them, they're popping up everywhere, right? Why? Because you got all these freight broker trainers out there telling, hey, all you need is your bond, your insurance, and this is that, and that's all you need. You go out there, man, and just by yourself make a few $1 million a year. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. They're gonna be out of business. Okay, that's why they were thinking about raising the bond again. Because remember, the bond used to be $10,000, right there. If you didn't know this, the bond not too long ago was only $10,000 to get your freight brokerage bond. Then they raised it to $75,000 because they had all these people who were coming in getting, becoming freight brokers, but they weren't lasting because they failed to understand what it takes to be competitive as a real competitive freight brokerage firm. Okay, but let's go to what we're talking about here. When compared to franchising opportunities, such as a restaurant or coffee shop, starting a brokerage firm is much cheaper. Okay, this draws many inexperienced, what I just got through saying, individuals to enter the market with little to no chance of success. So when y'all hear me say that, and y'all hear me say this a lot, people will call me up and say, hey, I want to take your freight broker training course. I persuade them not to. I mean, I do. I tell them all the time. You might want to do dispatching first. You don't want to do freight broker starting out. Well, why? I want to be a freight broker. I heard it's a lot of money. Yeah, but you ain't got what it takes to be a freight broker right now. I'm not being rude. I'm trying to save them the heartache and save them money. I'm not being rude. I'm trying to save them the heartache.
You need to build your way up with the.
Is somebody trying to overtalk me? Please mute your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah. Look, please keep your mics muted unless you are about to ask me a question and you have at least hit the little hand thing, let me know you have a question or something, and then I will open up your mic. But if you're going to disturb the broadcast by, because these mics are very sensitive and it makes it hard for people to hear what's going on if you're coming in with, stuff off camera and, just stuff. So please keep your mics muted. I appreciate that. Thank you all so very much. All right. But yeah, I'm not being rude when I tell people, well, you don't want to start off jumping right into this industry as a freight brokerage firm right off the bat. Start with dispatching first. Get used to the industry. Make money as a dispatch firm. Build your dispatch firm. If anything, get your bond, but don't operate. And let your bond get seasoned while you're dispatching, while you're making money, while you're establishing yourself within the industry. You're establishing contacts. You're building up references. You're getting carriers already signed on. Because if you're a dispatcher, you got a bunch of carriers that you're dispatching for. When you decide to become a freight broker, you switch over. A lot of those carriers are just going to move right over and be already signed on with your freight brokerage firm. If you're a dispatcher and you've been dealing with brokers, been getting loads from certain shippers, even though you're a dispatcher, those shippers are starting to recognize you and recognize your carriers when they come to pick up loads and all that stuff. They recognize you as a dispatch firm. So when you switch over to a freight brokerage firm, then you have an easier path of getting those same shippers signed on with your freight brokerage firm. But if you just try to jump right into freight brokerage, that is ill-advised. And you all know me. I have a freight broker dispatching course. I have a freight broker vocational school. But I would tell people in a heartbeat, do not take my freight broker course. Take my dispatch course. Now people say, why are you trying to keep people from spending money with you? It's not that. It's not that. I just want to make sure that people get what they are paying for. I want to make sure that people are not entering into a side of a business that they have little to no chance in hell of being successful in without real management. That's why my last broadcast in doing the Brokers Hour was entitled Freight Broker Training is Worthless, because it is. There is no freight broker training course out there that is going to prepare you for the complexities of being a broker, that is going to prepare you for being able to compete on a scale with the TQL that is doing $13 billion in revenue. That is going to compare you to compete with a C.H. Robinson that's doing $33 billion in revenue, with a Landstar who's doing $9 billion in revenue, with hundreds of other freight brokerage firms who are doing no less than $700 million to $500 million in revenue. When you start getting down to under $100 million in revenue, there are no freight brokerage firms that are older than 5 years old that are doing less than $100 million a year. Freight brokering is the NBA of the freight industry. You don't get to the NBA by saying, oh, I played some basketball in my backyard. I'm good in my neighborhood. Right? No. Okay? So I'm going on record right now to tell everybody out there, if you're thinking about taking a freight broker course, save your money. Now, if you want to start a freight brokerage firm and you're serious about it, you've already gotten your bond, all this stuff, you've already made that step, and you want real management, look us up. RBBS LLC, corporate consultant. We manage young freight brokerage firms, which means we actually come in and we evaluate your firm. We set up your operations in a way that you can compete with these big companies. We set up your operation in which you can grow real quickly, because we take over your recruiting. We take over your hiring campaign. We take over your training of all your new people. We will bring you 140 new employees every 6 months. And we keep doing that for the entire time that we are managing you, which is from 2 to 10 years. That's it. We only do 2-year management and 10-year management. There's no in between. If you decide you want to contract us to manage your firm for 2 years, you're going to pay us a $25,000 retainer up front. No ifs, ands, buts, or exceptions. No, well, can we work that in payments? No, we can't work that in payments. But can we negotiate? No, there's no negotiation on that. It's $25,000 up front for the retainer, but to retain us for 2 years. And you also will pay us 3.5% of your broker's fee for the 2 years that we are managing you and training your people and hiring and doing all this other stuff. Okay? Or you can enter into a 10-year contract. We don't have a 5-year or a 3-year or a 6 or a 7-year. We have a 2-year or we have a 10-year. On the 10-year contract, you don't pay us anything up front. There is no retainer whatsoever. You pay us simply 6.5% of your broker's fee every month. Okay, that's of all the loads you broker. We get 6.5% of your broker's fee. That's it. Now, what are we going to do for you? Doing it while we are managing your firm, we are going to take over your recruiting campaign. We're going to recruit. We're going to recruit. We're going to have job places all over the place. Like y'all probably seen a bunch of job places all over social media, on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. We've got job postings everywhere because we already got 2 freight brokers firms under contract. Excuse me, as you can see here. We have job postings like this all over the place, all over the place, okay? We just had an orientation for one of our freight brokers firms where we brought on, what is it, about 47, almost 50 new employees there on Tuesday night to one of the freight brokers firms that we managed.
Sorry, I stepped away for a second. I thought I heard my name.
Yeah, I'm just saying that we just had an orientation for one of the freight brokers firms that we're managing. We had the first orientation just past Tuesday night, and we brought on about 47, close to 50 new employees, new freight broker salespeople. Okay, but here's one of the job ads that we have on Facebook. As you can see, we reached over 2,000 people. We have 33 applications and growing so far, just from Facebook. I got about 70 resumes in my email right now. New resumes that came in the last 3 days that I got to go in and go over and call people back. Okay, so that's the first thing. We go on a massive hiring campaign, and we bring in 140, new employees every 6 months. That's how I go. Every 6 months, bringing 140 employees. Because we want to get them to the point, because the reason why TQL is on track to do 13 billion this year, because they have 9,000 employees. The reason why C.H. Robinson is going to get $33 billion this year, they have close to 12,000 employees. Now, out of that 9,000 employees that TQL has, right? And they haven't been in business for more than 10 years yet. TQL is about 8, 9 years old. But they've gone from that 8, 9 years ago to the second spot on one of the most biggest revenue producers when it comes to freight brokerage firm in the world. They're number 2 behind C.H. Robinson. And they did that because they have a massive sales force. Now, out of that 9,000 employees, only about 500 of them are administrative people. So who are the rest of them? Freight broker agents. Okay, so that's what we do. We come in, we have a massive recruiting campaign to get you a massive number of salespeople to help them. And those salespeople, they go out there and they find you shipping. They find you shipping. They're calling. They're dialing for dollars all day long, every day. They're finding you shipping. They're getting you carriers signed up with your freight brokerage firm. Because the more shippers you got, the more loads you're going to get. The more loads you get in, the more loads you're going to book. The more loads you're going to book, the more money you're going to make on your broker fees. Now, there's other things that we put into play to help them keep from paying out most of the money, because the TQL and all those other places, everybody else in the country is paying their freight broker agents 50 to 70% of their broker's fee. So C.H. Robinson, even though they made $8.6 billion in revenue, they only made $900.5 million in profits. So they gave up more than $7 billion of their revenue to pay their people. That is one of the main reasons why these new freight brokerage firms cannot make it, because they cannot afford to operate like the industry standard says that they should operate. They cannot afford to pay their people that much money. They don't have that kind of money. They don't have the resources. They don't have the tools. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the financial resources. But people are constantly thinking they can jump into this side of the game with just them and be competitive and last in this industry. And they can't figure out why they've had their bond for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, they can't get no shipper signed up. Because shippers do not want to work with small freight brokerage firms. If you don't have the resources, shipper don't want to work with you. If you can't show a shipper that you have growth potential, they don't want to work with you. They don't want to work with freight brokers firm who's going to be around to help them continue to move freight. Why would they want to work with you? You ain't going to be in business after 2 years. Because you haven't realized that you either need to go big or you take your behind back home. Now, that's the truth about freight brokers. If you're not willing to go big, if you're not willing to go all the way, just pack your stuff up and take your little behind back home, because you're wasting your time and everybody else's time who's in the industry. That's the simple truth. And if you want to go big, then you need to hire a freight brokerage management firm. As far as I know, we're the only freight brokerage management firm out there, right there. Everybody else doing what we're doing. Nobody. And nobody show ain't doing it for the little amount of money, the percentages that we're doing them for. And if you take that step to reach out to us and decide to contract us, before we contract with you, we're going to have you sign an NDC, and then we're going to schedule a Zoom meeting with you that's going to be between yourself, your team, myself, Darren, who's my partner in this consultant, Jen Williams, who's one of our senior consultants, and one of our new consultants is Miss Angela Rozier, who just came on a couple of days ago. She's one of our junior consultants. And yes, we are looking to hire more consultants. Okay, so we will have a meeting with you with all of us involved, and chances are, if you come on now, you're going to be on the Jen's consulting team, because she's the senior consultant and her junior consultant is Miss Angela Rozier. So you're probably going to have Miss Rozier as your consultant. Now, as I mentioned before, you got a lot of inexperienced people coming into this industry who have little to no chance of success. On average, but every 3 new brokerage authorities that are issued, only 1 remains active after 2 years. Isn't that what I just told you all? That alone shows a 67% turnover without even looking at the actual profitability of the brokerages that remain. Further, the W-2 model of freight brokerage shows an even more dramatic statistic. I want y'all to understand something. It's telling you the W-2 model of freight brokerage shows an even more dramatic statistic. What is the W-2 model of freight brokerage? That's you hire the broker agent. You're paying that broker agent 50 to 70% of the broker fee. Why? Because that broker agent has to do all the work. That broker agent has to call the shipper, has to negotiate a bond with the shipper, has to get the shipper signed, has to send the shipper the broker shipper packet. They have to unload that shipper up to the CNTMS. They have to take those loads and post them to the load board. They have to then call and reach out to carriers. They have to get carriers signed up and onboarded with the brokerage firm. Then they have to book the freight with the carrier. They have to send out the rate confirmation. Once the rate confirmation gets sent out, they have to track the carrier and the load. The load gets delivered. They have to process the BOLs that come in. They process the invoices. They send those up to the factory company. Then they finally get paid. That's too much damn work for that little 60%, 50 to 60 to 70%. And that in turn is why the average freight broker agent who's working for a broker firm is topping out at about $75,000 a year. That also explains why small broker firms can't compete, because they don't have enough money to pay out 70% of their brokerage fee, which is their revenue. How are you going to compete? How are you going to survive if you're paying out 70%, 60 to 70% of your revenue is going out to pay your employees? I mean, come on, man, that's simple math. You can't survive like that. You can't do it. It's not possible. And those that think you can, then you just, I don't know, you're a special kind of person if you think you can do that and survive on 30% revenue. You can't do it. You're not big enough. You don't have enough resources. You're not this industry was not meant to support you. So you need management to take you to that next level. You need management that is going to structure you in a way that you're going to keep 68% of your broker fee. But at the same time, you need a strategy that's going to allow your people to make 5 times more than the average broker, $195,280 a year. So that's what our people are going to be earning with the brokerage firm that we manage. That's right. So these are the type of strategies that we have put together that is going to take these brokerage firms from where they're trying to do business now and going out of business because they're trying to operate like the industry standard. You can't do that. You got to come up with a new way. We have come up with a new way. Let's finish doing this. That alone shows us a 67% turnover without even looking at the actual profitability of the brokerage firms that remain. Further, the W-2 model of freight broking shows an even more dramatic statistic. Nearly 95% of newly hired brokers turn over within the first 6 months. In such a competitive market, that requires an extremely high level of sales proficiency. Now you'll notice all of the positions that we hire for, none of them say freight broker agent. If y'all look at any of our positions that we are hiring for, none of these mention a freight broker agent. Not none of them, because we don't hire a freight broker agent. If you look at this right here, let me go pull this up real quick. This is, I think I can pull this up. There we go, right there. If you notice these positions right here, neither one of these say anything about a freight broker agent. Neither one of them. It says job description, professional corporate sales position. What does this right here say? It requires, in order, nearly 95% of newly hired brokers turn over within the first 6 months in such a competitive market that requires an extremely high level of what? Sales proficiency, cold calling, and relationship building. It becomes survival of the fittest as in any other sales-driven market. It didn't say anything about no freight broker agents. Because that's what everybody's trying to hire, freight broker agents to do all that work. And the reason why these people right here can't do this because they're trying to do too much. That whole scenario I just showed you, but they got to find the shipper, negotiate with the shipper, get stuff posted load boards, do all the contract work, and you got to do all that stuff, including on the carrier side, including book the loads, including doing the BOLs and the rate confirmations and sending the invoice up to the factory company, and then they get paid. So they can do all that other stuff, but if they don't actually book the load, guess what? They still don't get paid. That's why so many of them are going out of business. That's why so many freight brokers are turning over like that. Because they're doing too much for that 160 to 70%. And there's not enough time in the day for them to do that enough to make more than $75,000 a year. And more than 95% of them can't even keep up with that because it's just too much for one person to do. Way too much for one person to do. But if you take a look at our job postings, what does it say? Job description, professional corporate sales position with a federally bonded freight brokerage firm whose goal is to serve as an intermediary between the shipper who needs to move their cargo and carriers, trucking companies that have the means to do so. Freight broker agents, job title, contract work, $120,000 to $195,000 a year remote. Means you get to work remote from home, and you're going to average somewhere between $120,000 to $195,000 a year. Now, between me, you, and Darren Teller, that's actually a low ball. That's a low ball. But we don't want to have people think, well, they just blow us forward if they put the real number up there. They can't possibly make the kind of money. And think again, yes, they will make that kind of money. Why? Because as a freight broker agent with the companies that we manage, you'll be required to attract carriers, trucking companies, securing an agreement for their approval to pick up and deliver freight acquired by the brokerage firm. Guess what? That's all you do. You don't do no paperwork. You don't do no BOLs. You don't do no rate confirmations. You don't do any paper. You don't put that into the CNTMS. You don't post stuff on those boards. You know, all you do is sell, baby. Sell. Do what you're good at. Sell. That's all you do. You sell carriers on the idea of signing up with the brokerage firm. That's all you do. And you will be paid handsomely for that. I can't go in the specifics on how we structure your compensation plan, because that's part of our trade secret. You got to sign that to find that out. All right, I told you. Who is this? Yeah. Make sure you mute your mic, people. Okay. The other position, freight acquisition executive, job details, contract $140,000 to $265,000 a year. Again, that's a low ball. As a freight acquisitions executive, you would be required, okay? All you'll be required to do is attract new customers, shippers, securing an agreement for a brokerage firm to arrange for the movement of their freight. All these provided by corporate. All these are provided by corporate on both these job positions. Now you notice they're not booking any freight. They're not posting anything to load booths. They're not even required to do the freight broker and shipper contract, the agreement for them. They're not required to send that packet out. They don't load nothing up into the CNTMS. They don't post nothing on load board. They don't book any freight whatsoever. All they do is sell shippers. That's all they do is sell. Why? Because we have an administrative division, that third part of this complex operation, that does all the paperwork, does the rate confirmation, process the BOL, post stuff onto load boards, load stuff up into the CNTMS. They do all of the paperwork part of it. Now, I'm gonna give you all something else here. Every person, every job position with the freight brokerage firm that we manage, every job position is a legitimate path to 7 figures a year. Every job position is a legitimate path to 7 figures a year. Because these numbers right here for this acquisitions executive, that's based on if they get one ship. They're going to make off that one ship somewhere between $140,000 and $265,000 a year. That's right. So what happens when they get 2 shippers, 3 shippers, 4 shippers? Also, that's also based on that one ship on sending over 100 loads a day. And the brokerage firm only booking 25% of those loads each day. Now, I'm not going to say any more than that, because anything else you want to know, send us your request for an NDNC. Okay? Send us a request for the NDNC, and we will be more than happy to send it back out to you. You sign it, not take it back. Along with that request, send us your resume. Send us your resume or your interest in one of the positions, and we'll send you out the NDNC, and then from there, we'll move forward. We have orientation for this one particular company who is getting their own cargo ship, who has benefits package, dental, health, vision, and 401k. So if you go work for this brokerage firm that we are representing, the one that we're representing for right now, the one that one of the brokerage firms that we have on the contract, they have a whole benefits package. You can either come on with them as a W-2 employee or a 1099 employee. Okay. So if you want an opportunity, and this is a job, this is not one of those money-making opportunities. That's not. This is the actual job. Even though you are working from home, no one's going to be looking over your shoulder, but you're going to have to be a dedicated, motivated sales professional. This is corporate sales. Okay, you are not a freight broker agent. You are a corporate salesperson. Why? Because freight broker agents can't make it in this industry with these small brokerage firms. You just can't. Okay? Because it requires what? Extremely high level of sales proficiency, cold calling, and relationship building. It becomes survival of the fittest, as in any other sales-driven market. The successful brokers are the ones that excel in these areas and shine above their competition. The amount of work that goes into the first 6 months as a broker is what weeds out the failures from the successful brokers. It's common to make roughly 100 calls per day to prospective shippers in order to build a book of business over time. Additionally, you've got to be really good on the phone for those calls to be worth your time. Prospecting never stops once you build a book of business, but it is the #1 focus for new brokers simply because they will never turn a profit without a customer to pay them for their service. Now, that's where we differ. That right there is where we differ in our strategy and our proprietary strategy that we put together. Because remember, with every other brokerage firm, you got to keep booking freight in order to make money. I don't care if you sign on 100 shippers. If you don't book that freight yourself, you don't make no money. But that's not the case with us. Because remember, our freight acquisition executives, salespeople, they don't book freight. They just sell shipments. Think about that for a second. Not only do they not book freight, they just sell shipments, but they're going to be paid I'm not going to tell you what they're being paid. They're being paid a certain percentage of the brokerage fee for every load that is booked from their shipper account. So all they got to do is sell the shipper one time, they keep making money off that shipper for as long as that shipper is active with the brokerage firm. Ooh, I said a lot then, didn't I? See, what we have come up with is very unique strategies that only that I developed, that we have put together, and no one else is using it. It's about 13 different strategies. If you try to do this and you take out one part of the strategy, the whole thing doesn't work. They all have to be in place to make this process work in favor of the freight brokerage firm, in favor of the employees, in favor of us. Everybody makes money because of the way the strategy and everything put together. And if you decide to take a step and send us your resume, and we send you that NDNC, you sign that, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? But hear me when I tell you this. Freight broker training is worthless. It's worthless. Now, I debated on whether or not to tell you all this stuff, because some people say, well, Calvin, now I'm going to have a lot of freight broker trainers out there mad at me. Come this week, because they're going to hear this video, they're going to put it out there, people will be talking, boy, Calvin said freight broker training is worthless. So why am I taking your freight broker course? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Look, people. I don't need to attract students and pull wool over their eyes to make money. Okay? I don't need that kind of money. I don't even want that kind of money. All right? I'd rather tell you what part of the industry you can legitimately go in and be successful at, and tell you how you can be successful at a certain part of the industry than to just push off on you a training platform when I know you're not going to become successful at it because of the way you're doing it. Okay? You're just not going to be able to make it as a freight broker the way it is currently being done. You're just not. Come on. I mean, you're not. Don't fool yourself in thinking that you are. But with freight broker management, which is what we provide instead of freight broker training. We don't do freight broker training anymore. We only do freight broker management. We do dispatch training and we do freight broker management. We don't do freight broker training. Freight broker training is not going to do it for you. You need freight broker management. And it has to be long-term. We have to be committed to your brokerage firm to making you a success. Because just like people say, well, that's a 10-year contract. Yeah, it's 10 years of our time too. So we're committed to you for that long. So that's how committed we are to making you successful. All right, that's going to do it for tonight. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. I've got a lot of people on here. Let's see here. Let's see what my YouTube people are saying right now. See what they got to say, see what they got to say, see what they got to say, see what they got to say. All right. YouTube people, oh, we got a lot of comments here on YouTube. Yeah, a lot of comments on here on YouTube. I don't know who this is. Let me hide this person because they just full of crap. Okay. I'm gonna hide all these stuff because they're full of crap. Okay, there we go. Okay. That's deleted. Got that stuff deleted. Good. All right. So basically, MC, hey everyone. Stop saying for agents, don't deal with the small guys. Yeah, okay. But anyway, there we have it. All right. Look, I appreciate y'all for coming on here tonight for our dispatch training, which was the dispatch agreement and the carrier profile form. Hope y'all got a lot of good information. Hope we turned on y'all to some good knowledge. Y'all got a little bit of how the freight brokerage, our industry works here tonight, and why it's important. If you're gonna spend that money to become a freight broker, why it's important for you to realize you need to go big or you need to go home. Because, you know, I just gave y'all some real numbers. 95% of all new freight brokers firms go out of business within the first 2 years. Okay, so those are not my numbers. Those are the industry standards. I'm just telling you all the truth because I want y'all to know, you know, what it is you're getting into when you start off on this journey to become a freight broker. Okay, now mind you, we won't even have a conversation with you as far as managing your firm as a freight brokerage firm if you do not already have your bond, if you do not already have your insurance, if you do not already have your authority, if you do not already have your SAC code. If you don't have all that stuff, don't even reach out to us about managing your freight brokerage firm because we're not going to send you an NDNC invite. We're not going to talk with you. We're not going to have a Zoom call with you. We're only going to have Zoom calls and send out that NDNC to people who have already gotten their bond and they have committed. They are serious about being a freight brokerage firm and they are committed to going big. If you're not committed to that, don't call us. Don't reach out to us. Don't do it. Pack your stuff and just go back home. If you want to be small, don't waste your time. Okay, because you're wasting your time, with a lot of people's time, you know, trying to do this freight broker. You think you're gonna do it just by yourself. You think you're gonna do it and just remain small. Okay. You either on this side of it, you either go big or you go home. And that's just the reality of it. Okay. Thank you all. Kevin Yee says, I need to complete my information to submit to you, including the meeting time. Yeah, great. Yeah, get that completed and get back to me. And look, we'll be happy to work with you once you get all your stuff together for your freight brokerage firm. All right. Look, everybody. Thank you all. I appreciate y'all. It's been great talking with y'all again. And as always, I love coming here and I love what I do. I guess y'all can tell that already. But anyway, thank you all for joining us for the dispatch training, which was presented by the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and National Dispatch Network, along with RBBS Corporate Consulting for freight broker startups. Thank you all. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.